Hi everybody, this is Joni coming on today with a Michael's haul. If you saw my video yesterday, I was returning a storage item that they didn't sell extra pieces to. So I was happy I caught that in the reviews after the fact when I bought it. But they took it back like they always do, like no questions asked. So, I was trying to think of what I might like to get with that because, God forbid I just take the money back and, you know. So I looked around and I've been I've been watching a lot of videos lately on the paper flowers and that people are making, and people are I was looking on Etsy. um, I've been watching videos how they're made. I was looking on Etsy to see how much they cost, just to see are they worth making. They are absolutely worth making. They're very expensive to buy on Etsy, and it's because it is quite a bit of work to make them. The cutting and, assembling it. And so, so I decided that I would make them, and they were selling cut files on Etsy for them. Um, but then I also, I've heard a lot of people talking about um, how they take a very long time to cut, like on your Cricut, because, my Cricut could do that for me if I could figure it out. Um, but they're saying it takes much less time to make them if you cut them yourself. So I would imagine you get quite a bit of hand fatigue though if you're doing a lot of them. So I decided that I would, look for them at Michael's and see. I know there've been hot items there. So I did look at them at Michael's, and David Tutera sells his own line, and they're beautiful. And the largest ones that he sells, he did a collab with Sizzix and produced a die. The largest flower is, let me see, I think it's 8.5 by 8.5. So I know there are flowers much bigger than that. I don't know. I ended up buying the die for the rose. And they sell roses and dahlias and daisies, and I mean, you name it, they have it. They have succulents. It's they have quite an array of flowers. So I thought I'm going to start out with the rose, and I think I would like to add to this collection, but I want to see how it goes first with this. So this is what it looks like. It was not on sale, so I was able to use my 50% off coupon, and it was slim pickings. I mean, I was lucky that I found the one that I wanted. There were a lot of them that they were out of, or they only had the small ones, which I think are pretty small, like 4 or 5 inches. So I wanted to get a couple of bigger ones and maybe a couple of smaller ones, eventually. So yeah, so this is what the rose looks like. And I didn't get the tool because I've seen people just using their even a pencil, any kind of round edge, or even I've seen people using their bone folders, to kind of curl up the edges of their flowers. So I want to give it a shot. Um, I have the machine I have is, I keep mixing it up. Is it Revolution or Evolution that We Are Memory Keepers makes? I love the machine. Um, it has a motorized attachment that if I do end up doing a lot of these, I may just purchase. Because then it's just a push of the button. You just sit and wait for it to cut. Um, but anyway, so I got that. And then, the dilemma was the paper. They recommend 65-pound cardstock for it. So now this particular die, I'm in Michael's. I've got my phone and I'm watching a YouTube video that's explaining how to do it, because it doesn't really tell you anything, on here that's obvious without opening the package. So it calls for 6 by 12 paper. So you would take a 12 by 12 and cut it in half, and then you would make your petals out of that. So I found a pad in the colors I would like. They had hot buys going on, but nowhere does it tell you what the pound, is it 65 or 100 or 110 or, so I didn't get it. So then I found these, and it's it has, a bunch of different, here, I should show you here, a bunch of different colors, which is great. 50 sheets, but I think a lot of these require like 10 sheets, but this is not 12 inches. It's 8.5 by 11, so I'm gonna have, you need 6 by 12, so I'm gonna get 6 by 11 and have all this waste, which, we always use our scraps anyway for other die cutting, so that's okay. And this, though, you used to be able to get these like cheap, used to be able to get them for like $2.50 each. Well, this is a 50 pack, and now it costs $4.99. The 65 pounds cardstock. Some of the other cardstock is not as expensive. And they say on the sign, card making cardstock. Sizzix does make its own paper, but it's not sold at Michael's, as far as I can see, like in that size, the 12 by 12, 65-pound cardstock. So I don't know. I did see something by DCWV. It didn't say, what the poundage was, but it did show pictures of flowers on it. So, but I didn't like the colors. All the good colors were gone. It was a bunch of like neutrals, like earth tones, and I really wanted pinks, blues, maybe some, sea foam, or I didn't want so much of the browns and tans. But so I got the paper packs. I ended up buying 2. So I got the die for $9.99 because I got it half off. And then I got 2 paper packs. I got one in all pink because I'll always use that. I make a lot more feminine cards than masculine. And I got this pack that had some blue in it. They had some also that had a gold foil in it. Some people make their leaves rather than green. They make them out of gold foil. But it's not equal division, so there should be like 10 pieces of gold foil. The pack only comes with 4 or 5. So that was what people were saying on a lot of the reviews, that there weren't enough gold foil. And then I got this, I was talking about the beads the other day. They were all $1.80 because they were 70 off. So I got these because, if you remember, I was talking about making a bracelet out of, it's right here, these gorgeous beads, but that's not long enough for my wrist. Almost, maybe on a piece of elastic, but I would need some spacers. So I thought this would go really nice because it's a nice, like, muted color. So I could use those as like spacers in between. You know, not that many. But yeah, so I got another strand of these, and that's all. So after I did my return and made my purchase, I think I ended up spending $4 or $5. You know, and I was surprised they refunded me my shipping costs. I wasn't expecting that. So that was real nice of them. So yeah, that was my Michaels purchase this weekend. And another purchase I made this weekend because I needed to was the only thing I go to Ulta for is foundation, just because I need full coverage foundation, and I can't find it in, you know, over-the-counter drugstore brands. So I usually use Urban Decay All-Nighter. And it's a little bit on the drying side, but I've kind of found my way around that a little bit. But I just thought, you know what, I wanted to try. You hear so much about Tarte Shape Tape. I said it backwards. That's the cat you hear in here. She's just plunking things off my other desk. Anyway, the little kitten I showed you months ago, she's like full size now. Anyway, so I got this, and it is too drying. This has a clay base to it. This is the matte. I usually always buy the matte. I just find like it blurs fine lines for me and it works better. But not in this brand. In this brand, I find it very drying. Like I feel like I'm putting clay on my face, and it dries very light. And I think that's because of the clay base. So I think I should have bought the hydrating formula. Lesson learned. Or just stayed with the Urban Decay because I like the Urban Decay, you know, all-nighter. I just want something that has good coverage, you know, that's long lasting. Do you hear this cat? All right, I'm gonna sign off before this cat trashes my room while I'm making a video. All right, everybody, thanks for watching, and until next time, bye.